Pinkner.
So, I don't know if you guys know if you're coming back next year or not, but how does that shape or how has it determined your approach to this year's finale?
In all honesty, it hasn't. The truth is we don't know, although we're feeling very bullish, positive that we will be coming back next year. But when we set out to shape this season, we started with the finale and knew that it wouldn't change whether it was a series finale or a season finale. It was pretty much the same thing.
Does that mean a cliffhanger?
Well, traditionally we do chapters, at the end of each season, which is just a creative choice that Jeff and I had started with. But so it's sort of like it's automatically that. It's automatically a closure of something and then a beginning of something else, which is fans understand that's kind of what our MO is. So he's right. We never really adjusted anything.
But no, it's not specifically cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And one other question I wanted to ask is, one of the things I really love about this season is that you have returned really to the centrality of the relationships among the three principal characters. And in coming up with this alt timeline thing, you re-emphasized the way that Peter becomes central to Olivia and to Walter's development. Again, we get to see it in a different
Bless
way.
you for recognizing that.
Good for you. Thank you, man.
Okay, but can you talk about that and why you decided to do that this year?
Go ahead.
He's, the show's essentially about Peter. If you call the show a quintessential kidnapping show, because I think it kind of is, it can be qualified that way. We're always looking for ways to reinvent the characters, and we get chastised a lot for using the word recontextualize a lot, but it's the only word that really sort of, I think, is accurate when in describing what we try to do. We're always trying to repurpose ideas and themes within the lines that we've created. So bringing Peter over to the other side and making him relevant was just another one of those things where we actually we said, we can use him to highlight this theme or this emotion, and let's do that.
And would you say the same thing?
Yeah, of course. At its heart, I think the show has always been a family drama masquerading as a science fiction procedural, and the family dynamics are between, the quasi-family dynamics, these Fringe characters having found themselves, or Peter, Olivia, and Walter, all who sort of were, at their own corner of a chessboard before the series started, and the show has brought them together, and as Joel said, we just find different ways for it to bring them together. I'm buying stock in Olympus.
Yeah, everybody's happy.
You guys indicated that you guys had a chapter for each season. Do you have the overall ending to the whole story?
We do.
Yeah. Yeah, we know where we'd like to go. And, I think even from season one, we understood what the series was really about. And that's the biggest challenge, I think, for any showrunners is that, you have to... I don't know how guys can look at a blank page and not really understand where they're going. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who are great at that. We're not good at that. We have to know, where we're going and then find those great ways to tell the stories within those confines, So we knew right away, where we would go.
Is it a happy ending or a tragic?
Serial comic.
It's a satiating ending, because I think it all depends on what you like, and we're lucky because we like the same kind of thing in literature, that you're feeling like satisfied that you've been through a journey, that you've learned something about these characters, maybe something about yourself through the whole journey and saga. And we both love television, so we would never want to end it where we would be disappointed. I would be really upset if somebody after 4 years left me on it was all a dream. Or, not that wasn't ingenious, but
The answer is hopefully.
Yeah, it's always hopeful.
Hopefully, the ending of the series will not betray people's investment in the series. It will feel very satisfying. It will be true to what the show's been about. It will be true to the characters, and it will be. Hopefully reward people who have invested in the show and stuck with it.
We're really tough critics on ourselves. Believe it. So we the two of us constantly checking each other is it's tough because we're like, I was thinking about that. I'm not crazy about that. And he's like, what? It's crazy. It's good. And maybe you're right. And he's like, no, you were right. It is great. And we go back and forth. But the result of that is something that ultimately is, I guess, true.
Can you guys
So
talk
one
about?
go ahead.
Can you guys talk about the new agents coming in, played by Henry Ian Cusick and Georgina? What timeline they're fitting into?
I think the safest thing for us to be with anything we say will spoil their roles and their part in the story. I can tell you with sincerity that we were unbelievably fortunate to have them. They're spectacular, and I think our cast really enjoyed working with them, and they really enjoyed being part of the show. And we were totally, blessed with their presence. They're amazing in the way they just fit right in. But to tell you anything more than that really would be to betray a lot of the surprise and the fun of seeing them.
Because you know that episode 19 is traditionally something that we deviate. So half the fun is waiting.
Is there a possibility that we'll see more of them if the show gets renewed?
Sure.
You mean more of the characters?
Yeah, more of those two characters.
Yeah.
So will one of the satisfying endings be that Peter does return to his world?
Well, I think by the time we get there, that question won't be relevant anymore. That question won't be relevant anymore very soon.
Yeah, and also it's the question is actually a thematic direction that we were interested in going and asking that question. And we had said right up front that impact, like how you impact other people's lives and how they impact yours, and what does that mean, and how can you change your life with the decision, and all these things are sort of relevant to that ending. So that it will come soon.
Last question.
Is there a finite time you have before that ending?
Wow, you're like a spoiler yourself. I didn't expect that accent to come out.
So, if you did go for 3 more seasons, would you have to change that ending, or is that ending likely to be next season? Or if you went for another 5 years, for example, you'd probably have to change that.
Well, it's the great thing about Fringe is that it starts out as a direction, and then there's all these splinter things that we discover that just sort of enhance the storytelling for us, and again the themes and the things we want to talk about. And we're like, I never would have thought of that. Like in the beginning when we're sitting around going, what are we going to do this year? You never think of those things. And those are like happy accidents that come, and you're like, wow, that's amazing. So although we know what the end is, you were right. If there was a time, if there's longer, there's probably many things that we would really like to investigate and get into a little bit more before that ending. Which wouldn't hurt the ending; it would just enhance it. So yeah, I think that if we were fortunate enough, that we could definitely come up with those stories.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys all.
Thank you very much. Thanks.